Welcome to my channel, RPMFLOWS with Dr. G. Welcome to my channel, RPMFLOWS with Dr. G. My name is Dr. Gerald Brown, affectionately known as Dr. G. I'm thrilled you're here, and I can't wait to take this journey with you. This channel, let me just explain it. This is my very first video for this channel, and it's something that I've been thinking about, and it's been marinating in my mind, but now I want to make it come to fruition. And what it's all about exploring what I like to call RPM flows. And what does that stand for? Well, it's not anything related to automotive elements or technology or anything like that. It's actually about how to live a life full of wonder and purpose, meaning, and find fulfillment in daily and weekly life. So it is an acronym, and so I'm going to break it down for you so you understand what each letter stands for, what it means. So a little bit more about me. This channel was born out of a passion to inspire and empower. For 15 years, I have worked as a therapist, a coach, consultant, helping individuals, couples, families, groups, and teams discover the power of self-awareness and inner alignment. Now I'm bringing those lessons here to you. Together we'll reflect on inspirational quotes, maybe dive into some self-help literature, explore lived experiences, find ways to connect these concepts to holistic wellness. The goal, to encourage you to embrace your unique journey with resilience, purpose, meaning, and joy, to cultivate an authentic inner compass within. So what can you expect here on this channel? Probably every 2 weeks, I'll bring you some content designed to inspire reflection and action. Some weeks we'll unpack timeless quotes and analyze what they mean for our daily lives. Other times we'll share stories, such as my own and those from around the world, that highlight how RPM Flows principles show up in real life. And as this channel grows, I'm excited to invite guests to share their perspectives and answer your questions. I want this to be a community where we learn from and support one another. And this is an important reminder that this channel is a space for inspiration and education and developing self-awareness and an internal inner compass. While I am a licensed professional, watching this podcast does not make you my patient. If you're looking for personal therapeutic support, I encourage you to seek out a clinician who's a good fit for you in your local town or city. If you're not sure where to start, there are lots of resources out there, such as Psychology Today, National Association of Mental Health, and of course you've got Google, or whatever search engine you can use that you do use. Just type in therapist, life coach near me, and there will be lots of resources that you'll be able to research to see if one is right fit for you. But what this means is a find your flow moment happens when the elements of RPM flows: resilience, purpose, meaning, fun, love, oneness, wonderment, and synchronicity. So it is an acronym, and so I'm going to break it down for you so you understand what each letter stands for, what it means. First, we start with R, and that's for resilience. And when I think about resilience, I like to look at it from a holistic sense. So looking at it as psychological resilience, physical resilience, emotional, cultural, spiritual, interpersonal. And how are you engaging with these elements in daily life? Now, when we break down that even further, resilience is about overcoming adversity, having that stick to itiveness, not giving up, and pushing on despite hardship or challenges that we may face. Okay. The P and the M are for purpose and meaning. That's about when you wake up in the morning, what gives you your why? What are you waking up for? What do you feel motivated to do? What do you feel that is in your heart that's going to give you a sense of purpose, fulfillment, but also finding ways and means to connect with yourself, maybe people you cherish, your community, the world around you. Okay. And then the F is for fun, and that's about engaging with our inner child. And how do we do that in a way that still can be purposeful and meaningful, but also that helps us to remember that tomorrow is not promised and that we need to make the most out of every moment, okay? And one of is connecting with my golden doodle. And she reminds me just to live in the moment, have fun, and not take life too seriously. The L's for love, that's about giving and receiving love from others, but most importantly, cultivating love for yourself. The O is for oneness, and that's about feeling connected to everything around you, whether that's your family, your community, of course, animals, if you have animals, the air, the sun, the clouds, the trees, everything around us is connected. And that if we feel a part of that in the world, that we can cultivate a sense of appreciation and gratitude for everything around us. And that can also help us overcome a lot of hardship. But also, this idea of oneness is about feeling connected to brothers and sisters around you and the people in your life, and whether you know them or not, and whether you're willing to build a bridge between you and them and help them out, lift your hands up to help them, and in turn they do the same for you. And then W is wonderment, and that's about trying new things, getting out of our comfort zone, cultivating a growth mindset. And the S is synchronicity. How do all these elements work together? Do they work in tandem? Do they feel balanced? Or do they seem fragmented and broken? And if so, how do we start to work together to get them closer together again? So that is RPM Flows in a nutshell, just to give you a sense of what this podcast is going to be about. That's one of my ways to approach my day, is how do I integrate RPM flows today? So one, going back to what inspired me to even do this and integrate this mantra into my life is back in Thanksgiving of 2022, I had a very, I would say, existential experience while I was visiting my mother with my family. And at the time, my daughter was 11. We'd gone to the beach Thanksgiving morning because in November in Florida is pretty warm. It's not really cold or cool. It was a really beautiful morning and day to start. And my daughter convinced me to play with her in the water. So we've gone to Melbourne Beach and decided to jump into the water, play in the waves. We were playing catch. We were chasing each other. It was just a father-daughter moment on vacation. Excuse me while I take some water. But while we were doing that, time got away from us, and suddenly my daughter looked at me with a panicked look in her eyes, and she feebly mumbled, "I can't touch the ground, Papa." She calls me Papa. And I told her, "Don't worry about it. I'm sure I can." So I tried to touch the ground myself and found that I really couldn't either. And then at that moment, we both looked towards the shore and noticed that we were really further out than we had both realized. And no one really could hear us, and she started to panic and wail in the water and yell help and screamed help. And in those moments, we would just allow the panic and the anxiety and the concern to take over. But then suddenly, this divine calm or peace washed over me, and I directed my daughter to get in front of me while we were getting pounded by these waves behind us. And these waves were quite large in size. And so that was part of the reason why we were feeling so uncertain and anxious. But as I mentioned, all of a sudden this calm came over me, this inner peace. And I just remember telling my daughter, whatever happens, do not get behind me, okay? And she agreed. And so as the waves kept coming over us, I decided, as one was building up behind us, I took my daughter, and with somehow this almost superhuman strength, I tossed her up like she was a rag doll. And one of the large waves behind us she was able to catch the crest of that wave, and it took her down about probably a good 15-20 feet towards shore. And as I saw her come up from that, riding that wave, we were able to conversate, and I asked her, are you able to swim towards shore? And she said, yes. And I said, well, you have to swim now towards shore. You just keep swimming, don't stop, don't look back. And so she did. And in that moment, I felt relief and just an inner joy, even though I was still in the same sort of whirlpool effect that we had gotten ourselves into. And thus came again some more of that inner peace and divine calm, I would call it. And I decided I would like dolphin myself up, almost like jump up myself and try to catch one of these waves, and was successful in doing so. It didn't take me as far down as it did her, but the wave that I caught took me far enough towards shore that I was able to get out of that whirlpool effect or that rip current effect that was carrying us out to sea. And so when we got to shore, the only thing I remember telling my daughter, Zoe, was, now do you remember when Papa says that tomorrow is not promised? And she looked at me and nodded. I told her, well, do you understand what I mean by that now? And she said, yes, sir. And then that's all the conversation we had. But that's an anecdote to share with you. It's very personal to me because, and again, this happened here. We're all almost at 2025. This happened 2 years ago or so, 2.5 years ago. And it was it has been a very prominent lived experience for me, because it helped me then come up with this idea of RPM flows, which is this mantra that I carry, that I try to live with in my personal life, but also utilize it in my professional work as well. So if you're ready to live with intention, uncover deeper meaning, and embrace a life that feels connected and joyful, you've come to the right place. Please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss an episode. Last thing is, moving forward, I'm going to probably begin talking about a find your flow moment. My personal anecdote of my almost near drowning with my daughter, that is my find your flow moment. for today. But what this means is a find your flow moment happens when the elements of RPM flows, resilience, purpose, meaning, fun, love, oneness, wonderment, and synchronicity converge in your life. It's that powerful instance where you feel aligned, self-aware, and deeply connected to something greater than yourself. Whether it's a challenge you overcame, a joyful event, or an inspiring realization, these moments help you tap into inner strength and clarity to help you find clarity, meaning, and purpose in your journey. Together, let's create a ripple effect of positivity and growth. 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week at a time. Welcome to the RPM Flows community. I'm so excited that you've agreed to join me on this journey. And until next time, remember, let your life's flow be purposeful and free on RPM Flows with Dr. G. Bye for now.